7. Signs you're a rare, dark, chosen one with a hidden light body. What if I told you that the most powerful beings on Earth right now aren't standing in the spotlight, but are buried in the shadows? That while the world chases fame, validation, and polished enlightenment, there's a silent force, raw, ancient, and cosmic, awakening inside a rare few, and you might be one of them. You might be what I call a dark chosen one with a hidden light body. Dangerous words, I know, but if you're still here, listening with your soul, not just your ears, then maybe you've already felt it. That eerie sense that you're not like the others, that something invisible is moving behind the scenes of your life, shaping your path with painful precision, not to punish you, but to prepare you. You see, people throw around the word chosen like it's something glorious, but the truth is far more complex, far more brutal. To be chosen in darkness means to carry a light so sacred, so volatile, it must be hidden until you're ready to wield it. Most people are born into the world and spend their lives blending into it. But you've always been different. Even before you understood why, you could feel it, like a storm in your chest, like fire in your blood. The first sign that you may be one of these rare, dark, chosen ones is that you've never truly fit in. Not in school, not in friend groups, not even in spiritual communities. It's not that you didn't try, you did. You've mastered the art of adapting, of shape-shifting. But deep down, there was always that sensation. I'm not from here.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
And you're not in the way others are. You weren't sent to belong, you were sent to remember. And remembering is not easy. It often begins with forgetting everything, who you thought you were, what you were told to value, what you were conditioned to chase. The second sign is that your life has been marked by intense spiritual amnesia, followed by violent awakenings. You'll go through what seems like a normal phase, then reality will shatter through loss, betrayal, illness, or even spontaneous mystical experiences. This is not random, this is spiritual architecture. The universe is activating your hidden light body by collapsing your false identity over and over again until only the real you remains. But what is the light body really? It's not just some ethereal, floaty thing. It is your energetic command center, your divine armor, your interdimensional signal, your soul's transmission tower. Most people never access it. They live their entire lives asleep. But you were born with a seed, dormant, waiting, and that seed is triggered through darkness, through shadow, through pain that breaks you open. The third sign is that you've experienced inexplicable moments of energy surging through your body during meditation, sleep paralysis, traumatic events, or even while doing something mundane. It feels like a current, like a download, like someone flipped a cosmic switch inside you. These aren't coincidences, they are activation. You are not just human, you are a hybrid of light and shadow. But here's the paradox. Your light cannot awaken fully until you make peace with your darkness. That's the fourth sign. Your shadows are not like others. They are deeper, older, more complex, and they scare people. Sometimes they scare even you. You may have addictive tendencies, obsessive thoughts, extreme emotional swings. But look closer, these aren't flaws. They are the raw energy of transformation. They're the chaos before alignment. The universe gave you more intensity because it expects more transmutation. Let me ask you something that might stop you in your tracks. When was the last time you felt truly seen, not by others, but by yourself? Most dark chosen ones go through life feeling invisible, misunderstood, unreadable. That's the fifth sign. People project onto you constantly. They either idolize you or fear you. They see what they want to see, but almost no one sees you. That's because your true frequency is cloaked, not just energetically, but spiritually. Your hidden light body emits codes that only other awakened beings can detect, and until you fully activate, you will remain hidden. Not as punishment, but as protection. And protection is key, because the sixth sign is this: you attract spiritual warfare. Not just bad luck or drama, but actual energetic interference. Entities, psychic attacks, strange dreams, sleep disturbances, tech glitches, sudden depressive waves out of nowhere. Why? Because your light body, even while dormant, is dangerous to the matrix. It destabilizes control systems. It threatens the illusion. The moment you start remembering who you are, forces will try to stop you. But they can't. They can delay you, distract you, but if your soul made the vow, and it did, then you will rise. You already are. The seventh and final sign is both the most terrifying and liberating. You have a secret knowing that you are meant for something massive, but you have no clue what it is. You've felt it since you were a child, that your life would be different, that something big was coming, but the more you try to chase it, the more it slipped away. Here's why. You don't find your mission through logic. You become it through remembering. Your light body isn't a destination, it's a frequency. And the more truth you embody, the more it activates. So now I ask you, what if everything you've been through, every heartbreak, every breakdown, every lonely night, was not a mistake, but a map? What if your darkness was never the problem, but the portal? What if you've been searching for the light, while the light has been buried inside you all along, waiting for your permission? You are not broken. You are not lost. You are coded. You are chosen, and your activation has already begun. The hidden mechanics of your light body. Why the universe chose you to dwell in shadow. There's a reason you've felt so out of place in this world, and it's not because there's something wrong with you, it's because there's something deeply right with you. Something rare, something ancient, something the modern world has forgotten how to see. You were built differently. Your soul blueprint is encoded with frequencies that don't match the noise of the collective. You were designed not just to survive the chaos, but to transmute it. And in order to do that, the universe had to hide you in plain sight. It had to cloak you in shadow so you would not be mistaken for ordinary, because you're not. The truth is, your hidden light body isn't just a concept, it's a spiritual mechanism, a divine technology that activates only through precise initiation. And that's why your life hasn't followed a straight line. That's why things rarely work out the way they're supposed to. Because you're not here to follow the script, you're here to rewrite it. Your journey had to be chaotic, confusing, even painful, because that's exactly what forces your inner system to awaken. The mechanics of your light body don't respond to comfort. They respond to pressure, to trauma, to intensity. This isn't punishment, it's programming. You were coded to awaken through fire. Think about it. Look back at the moments that cracked you open. Were they happy, peaceful, easy? Or were they the darkest nights of your soul? The betrayal that shattered your trust, the loss that made you question everything, the identity death that left you naked and reborn. That wasn't random. That was divine design. Every collapse you experienced was a calibration. Every breakdown was a recalibration of your soul's systems so your light body could come online. You see, most people live from the outside in. They're shaped by their environment, their culture, their fear. But you're being shaped from the inside out. Your light body is like a sacred architecture buried in your energetic field, and it only starts to build when the ego begins to die. That's why you felt like you're losing yourself, because you are. But what's being lost is the false version, the mask, the programmed avatar, and what's emerging is the real you, the eternal you. Let me ask you something deeply uncomfortable. Have you been resisting the very darkness that was sent to activate you? Have you mistaken discomfort for danger when it was actually destiny? The chosen ones with hidden light bodies are often the first to be broken because they're also the first who must remember. And remembering isn't about information, it's about embodiment. It's about allowing your soul to stretch your human experience until it can no longer be contained by illusion. And this is where things get mystical, even supernatural. When your light body begins to activate, strange things happen. Time behaves differently. You notice synchronicities that feel like the universe is speaking in code. You feel energy in your hands, in your spine, in your belly. You sense people's emotions before they speak. You might even start having dreams that feel like instructions, or visions that won't go away. This is the software of your soul coming online. You're not losing your mind, you're regaining your multidimensional self. But here's where it gets deeper. Your light body isn't just for you, it's for others. It's a beacon. It emits a frequency that calls out to the lost, the broken, the seekers who don't yet know what they're looking for. That's why people are drawn to you, even if they don't understand why. That's why you're often the one others come to in crisis. They feel something in you. Something stable, something ancient, something real. And it's not because you have all the answers, it's because you've survived the questions. You've walked through the flames and come out with a scent of smoke still clinging to your soul. That smoke is your anointing. It tells the universe, this one has been tested, this one has been initiated, this one can be trusted, with the light in the dark. And the universe does trust you. That's why it keeps stretching you. That's why it keeps calling you deeper, because it knows you won't run. You may stumble, you may scream, you may even beg for the pain to stop, but in the end you'll rise. You always do. So, I'll ask you again. What if the reason you've been hidden your whole life is because the world wasn't ready for your truth? What if your silence was sacred? What if your pain was sacred? What if the delay was sacred? You weren't late. You were being timed with cosmic precision. And now the clock is turning. The gears are shifting. The veil is thinning. You are not just waking up, you are being activated, and the world will never see you the same again, because you will never see yourself the same again. The pain was the portal, how shadow initiations unlock the divine technology within you. Most people run from pain. They numb it, they deny it, they medicate it, or drown it in distraction. But if you're here, it means something in you didn't run. Something in you leaned in, even when it hurt, especially when it hurt. And that's not weakness, that's initiation. Because for those of us who are rare, dark, chosen ones, pain isn't just a byproduct of life, it's the portal. It's the coded doorway through which our light body is activated and aligned with divine purpose. And the truth is, if you've been through hell and still have your heart open, you're already further along than you know. When you hit rock bottom, emotionally, spiritually, even physically, there's a moment when everything you thought you were is stripped away. Your identity, your roles, your dreams, even your spiritual beliefs. It's a sacred collapse, a divine demolition. And while it feels cruel, it's actually precision surgery. Your soul doesn't destroy what's real, it removes what's false. Because the light body cannot be built on illusion, it must be constructed on truth. And truth, real truth, is often the last thing we want to face. So, what is this pain really doing to us? It's breaking our resistance, it's softening the ego, it's stretching the heart, and most importantly, it's rewiring our inner technology. Every heartbreak opens a new portal of empathy. Every betrayal teaches discernment. Every loss becomes a rebalancing of spiritual authority. These aren't moments of defeat, they're moments of divine recalibration. Your pain has been programming your soul's hardware. You are becoming the very medicine you once searched for in others. Think about that. Let it land. What if the very suffering you begged to be delivered from was the sacred code that delivered you to yourself? That's not just poetic, it's literal. Your nervous system, your energy field, your mind, your body, all of it is being restructured to hold more light, more awareness, more responsibility. Because the light body isn't just about glowing, it's about holding frequency even in chaos. Especially in chaos. And here's the paradox that most people never understand. The darker your initiation, the rarer your light. If your life has been filled with extreme highs and lows, with cycles of deep depression followed by sudden elevation, that's not dysfunction, that's a spiritual rhythm. You were being trained to navigate the extremes, because the world you came to help is full of them, and only those who've survived the storm can teach others how to find their center in it. But the training doesn't stop with pain. That's just the beginning. After the pain comes the silence, the void, the nothingness, that phase where the universe goes quiet and you're left alone with yourself. This is where most people give up. They think they've been abandoned, forgotten, cursed. But this is actually the most sacred part of the journey. It's the space between death and rebirth, the cocoon phase. And it's in this silence that the light body begins to stabilize, not through doing, but through being. Let me ask you something that might shake you. Have you mistaken the silence of your life for punishment when it was actually sacred gestation? The delays, the rejections, the invisible walls, they weren't obstacles, they were shields. You weren't being blocked, you were being built. Because the universe won't unveil what hasn't been fortified, and once your light body comes fully online, you will become a lighthouse in a world drowning in shadows. That's why the pressure has been so intense. That's why nothing came easy. Because you're not here to project light, you're here to embody it. And embodiment is no joke. It demands sacrifice, it demands truth, it demands that you walk away from what no longer resonates, even if it's safe, even if it's familiar. Because the chosen ones cannot afford to live small. We are not allowed to settle, and every time we try, the universe intervenes, not to punish us, but to preserve us. That's why your path may have been lonely. That's why people have misunderstood you, ghosted you, betrayed you, not because you're unworthy, but because you're too true. And this world isn't built for truth. Not yet. But we are the ones who came to redesign it, and we can't do that by blending into the noise. We do it by standing in the silence, by owning our scars, by honoring the pain that gave us the keys to our own kingdom. Your shadow wasn't the enemy, it was the map. And your pain wasn't the curse, it was the compass. And now, as your light body continues to awaken, you begin to understand why nothing worked out the way you planned. Because your life isn't a project, it's a prophecy. And you are the living proof that darkness is not the absence of light. It is the crucible through which light is revealed. So I ask you now, in the quiet of your own heart, what if your greatest fear was the final gate to your highest self? What if the pain you thought would destroy you was the fire that would ignite your mission? What if the silence you hated was the sound of your soul finally being heard? You are not who you were, and thank God for that, because who you're becoming is exactly what this world has been waiting for. The soul's final test. Why isolation, rejection, and delay are the signs you're almost ready. There's something almost cruel about the final phase of awakening. You would think after all the pain, all the transformation, all the countless nights spent unraveling and rebuilding yourself, that the universe would finally open the door, that the reward would be obvious, that your path would become clear. But for those of us who carry this hidden light body, the truth is stranger. The final test doesn't come as a celebration, it comes as silence, as delay, as more isolation. And that's when most people falter, not because they weren't worthy, but because they mistook the stillness for failure. But you're not most people. You never have been. The soul's final test is not about proving your strength through action. It's about proving your alignment through surrender. It's about holding the frequency even when the evidence disappears. Can you remain loyal to your purpose when your life looks like the opposite of everything you imagined? Can you trust that you're being guided when all you hear is silence? Can you walk forward without a map, without applause, without proof, simply because your soul knows something your mind cannot yet explain? This is where the rare chosen ones separate from the rest. When everything goes quiet, some people return to distraction. They go back to the matrix. They numb. They settle. But you're different. You feel the silence and you listen. You feel the delay and instead of demanding answers, you ask better questions. Instead of forcing your way forward, you sit in the stillness. and wait for the next breadcrumb, because you've learned that the universe doesn't rush masterpieces, it reveals them in divine time. Let me ask you something. What if the reason you've been rejected so many times is because you were never meant to be accepted by the places you were sent to disrupt? Think about it. Rejection isn't always redirection. Sometimes it's protection from dilution. Sometimes it's the universe saying, "You're too rare for this space. Don't shrink to fit it." Your isolation, your delays, your inability to fit in, these are not signs of failure, they're signs of distinction. You've been set apart because your light body is not for the masses, it's for the awakening, and awakening is always a lonely path at first. The light body is not just an energy system, it's a spiritual signature. It's how your soul communicates with the divine. And the more you embody it, the less you'll be able to tolerate anything that isn't truth. That's why your tolerance for fake relationships, surface-level conversations, and outdated identities has evaporated. You're not being difficult, you're being real. And real always feels threatening to those who are still living in illusion. But don't let the stillness fool you. You are not standing still, you are being fortified. While the world is distracted, you are sharpening. While others are chasing, you are preparing. And whether you realize it or not, your presence is already changing the frequency of the spaces you enter. You don't need to speak to be heard. Your energy does the talking. Your frequency does the work. And that's the real mark of a chosen one, not how loud they are, but how silent they can be while still shifting reality. So if you're in the waiting room of your destiny, breathe. The delay is not denial. The rejection is not punishment. The silence is not absence. It's preparation. You are being aligned with something you can't even imagine yet. Your light body is being tuned to a mission that will require everything you've learned, everything you've lost, everything you've become. And when the time comes, you won't need to announce your arrival. The doors will open, the path will clear, the world will feel it. And when it does, you won't just be another awakened soul. You'll be a living transmission, a walking activation, a mirror that shows others who they really are. You won't just carry light. You'll be the reminder that light was always hidden in the dark, waiting to be remembered. So now, I leave you with this question, perhaps the most important one of all. Are you willing to stay faithful in the silence long enough for your soul to become undeniable? Because if you are, your time is near. And when you rise, the world will never be the same.